Hey, that's right. That's me. And yes, that is my sweetheart. This is us celebrating our 20th year of marriage. Lord knows He has brought us from a mighty long way. And I am grateful for every single step, even the missteps that were taken, because iron does sharpen iron and faith does encourage faith. And so we go from faith to faith and glory to glory. And so the glory of last year is not the glory of this year or the year to come. And so we just look forward to all of it. And so now, as your Hebrew melanated sister, now that you had a glimpse of what brought me to the Earthship adventure you are about to encounter, I am now ready to step you into the experience of a lifetime. In most of our adventures, I have to admit, we have done cruises, we have done group adventures as far as for our anniversary in Costa Rica. We have done Africa. We have done so many different things for celebrating our anniversary. And while this may not have been the most exotic trip we've ever taken, it is definitely the most unique experience we have had. And so, on that point, without further ado, I would like to take you on the journey of us going to experience this unique thing called Earthship biotexture. And this is going to be part of a series because this is going to take far longer than anything I can do any justice to in one point. And I also want to actually do videos that shares the pros of our experience and the cons of our experience, but also shares the pros of Earthship living versus the cons of Earthship living. So as you can see, that's us in the skies heading to Albuquerque, New Mexico. And it was friendly skies to say the least. And so now we find ourselves at Albuquerque, New Mexico airport. And as you can see, I mean, it is just absolutely beautiful. I like the fact that they connect so much of the history, but also of the indigenous people that just the experience, just the place itself just says so much about what we're going to encounter. And so now the adventure begins. So what you're looking at right now is this is us finally making it to the Earthship biotexture. And one thing that you will notice, which is very different from the picture you just saw, is that one seems to indicate that it's daytime, which it was, and the other is nighttime. And let me tell you something, the experience of getting to the Earthship biotexture was probably more exhilarating than the actual experience of living in a Earthship. Look, I mean, I did not know we were going to have to tackle the Rio Grande. And I did not know that that's actually where the Biotexture Center was, in Taos, New Mexico. So that was all an experience. And I tell you what, I am so very grateful that I did not allow my frugality to hinder me from moving with my husband in the arena of upgrading our vehicle from an economy vehicle to a SUV all-wheel drive, because I promise you it was needed. I would have pictures of the area we went up to get to it, but because if you haven't noticed, we're getting there during a time where it is snowing on the ground. And so there was ice on the road. So I was way more focused on getting there safely than taking pictures of this experience. So now what you're looking at is a daytime view when we woke up so that you can even more clearly see the snow on the ground. And this is what we stayed in. And look, do not judge a book by its cover. I know what this looks like on the outside just seems like nothing that you would want to consider living in. However, It does become more interesting as you go on the inside. If you look to the left of this particular building, that's the actual place we stayed. The building is made up of three different parts. Apparently, this middle part is part of their workshop area where they actually train people on how to build their own Earthships. They have classes and things of that nature. And based on what I can see from the outside, because you can't really be transparent, you are transparent when you live in one of these, because the windows basically, shows it all. Okay, so now what you are looking at is actually another building. It's not even our building at all. It's another building on the property. So the property, even though we stayed in a rental, it is actually a residential area, and they have separated, of course, the area that is utilized for the purpose of renting from the area where people live, and they try to keep that separate for obvious reasons. As you can see, there is basically no privacy except for the fact that all of these ships come with an actual fence that is made of the same stuff that the building is. So you got cement with bricks being made from bottles and recycled products like cans and so forth, that cover every single Earthship. So this is very helpful for providing some privacy, but I mean, ultimately, we're used to living in a real world. It's not like the fences incapable of people being able to come through them. So it still is an uncomfortable thing, and so I get that. So with that being stated, you can see everything that's going on. Now this side on the right actually seemed to have been the storage. When I looked in there, all you saw was just a bunch of stuff. Okay, so now let's enter into our portion of the Earthship. And so what you see on your left is basically the beginning. As soon as you come through the first set of doors, you will see this beautiful plant, which is a banana tree and also some flowers. So part of what you have to understand about biotexture is that you actually incorporate where you live with that which provides oxygen, which is plants. And so that is also a part of not only the aesthetics of the living situation, but it's a part of actually being able to comfortably live in an environment where all of your light is facing the very front of your house and is facing the sun, because that's where it has to be facing, so that you can one, make better use of your solar energy. Because of having the natural light, you don't have to use a lot of the artificial light. However, that being stated, that does come with its own challenges. So once you look to your left and you see that, if you look to your right, you see what we're looking at right now, which is the inside of the bathroom. Now, it does take some getting used to, because most of us are used to not having the very first thing you come into be your bathroom into a home. It's usually going to be a living room or an open concept, living, dining, kitchen combination. But again, this goes into understanding biotexture. And that's one thing that I did learn a lot about in the process, is that everything is done for a specific reason and is done for a specific purpose. And so part of understanding how the biotexture world works is incorporating that into the understanding of whatever it is that you do. So with that being stated, we did make it through at least the first segment. Because I am making this to kind of fit with TikTok as well as my other videos, the videos will be 10 minutes and no more. And we are hitting that mark. So be sure to look at part 2 so that you can see more concerning the inside of this survival studio that we stayed in Taos, New Mexico in 2023. Shalom.